fourth graders. Welcome to our robotics class week 5. I hope everybody's having a good week. And we have an exciting week this week because we are going to be working on our first ever robot. Woohoo! And it's going to be a little bit different this year, but that's okay because, hey, we're getting used to different, but we're making it work, right? And so every year, what I like to do with the fourth graders is usually we go down to the big cafeteria and we spread out on the tables and we get all of our supplies for our first robotics project. And then we spend the whole class period working on the robot together. And everybody gets to make their own robot. So obviously we can't do that right now. But what we are going to do is during this video, I'm going to go over all of the steps of how to make our first robot. And then I will be ordering all of the supplies and everybody will get a big, kind of like a gallon-sized baggie with all of the supplies. And it'll get sent home with you. And then you will get to build the robot at home. And then you can take a video of your robot or you can take a picture and you can send it to me. And so you'll get to work on it at home. And then you can use this video. You can keep pausing and starting the video to help you to actually complete the steps, okay? Because you're gonna need this as a guide. So please use this video as a guide to help you build the robot. So it'll be kind of like we're doing it together, but we're doing it together with you watching the video. So, okay, so let me show you guys this little video clip. This is our robot. It's the name of our first robot is the Wigglebot. And it's a really cute robot, and I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. And you're gonna get to even design a cute little face with some eyes and a mouth. And your little Wigglebot will have 3 legs. And it will wiggle and it will make beautiful artwork. So let me show you the video of the Wigglebot in action. So here's our Wigglebot.
Great stuff.
How cute, right? So super cute little Wigglebot there, and you will get to make one of your very own, and then it can live with you and it can create beautiful art for you. So let's have fun, okay? Alrighty, so before we can start building, we need to go through our supplies of what we need to actually make our Wigglebot. So let me pull my chair over here and show you guys. The first thing we need is a cup. So everybody will be getting one of these red solo cups, okay? And this is going to be like the body of your robot, okay? So this is the body of your robot. The next thing that you'll be needing is some electrical tape. So this will be inside of your bag. And electrical tape is very, very sticky. And so that's why we're using it, because we need to make sure that our Wigglebot doesn't fall apart. So it could be a little bit tough to get the tape going, but you'll notice that it's like a thicker kind of tape. So you will need definitely a pair of scissors, which I know everybody has at home, to be able to cut the tape. And we'll be using it to basically hold together everything onto the body of our robot. The other thing that you need is you need 3 markers, okay? So everybody I'll be sending home 3 markers. They'll just be 3 random colors. If you have other markers at home that you want to use, but I suggest using this size. So this is like this is not the skinny one. This is kind of like the thicker one, because you want to be, these are going to be the legs of the actual robot. And so it's better to use the thicker ones to give it more stability. Okay, so everybody will get 3 markers. The next thing that you're going to be getting is you're going to be getting a battery pack. So let me show you guys what it looks like. So this is a battery pack for AAA batteries. So it looks like this, and it has two wires coming out of it. And this is going to be our energy source, okay? So remember, we just finished learning a lot of the basics about robots. So some of the basic things that we learned was that robots need four things, right? They need to have what? Sensing, movement, energy, and intelligence. And so a lot of what we're doing here is we're giving this to our robot. So our battery pack is going to help to give energy to our robot, okay? So if you've ever used batteries before, these are AAA batteries, so they're very small. They're like one of the smaller size. We do need two of them. And then this is our battery pack. Oops. So what you need to do is you need to look at your battery pack and make sure when you look at the battery, it has one side of it is flat and the other side kind of has this little like hump thing on it, right? This is the positive side of your battery and the flat is the negative side. So when you're putting your batteries inside of your battery pack, you always want to put the negative flat side against the little spring that's inside. So the flat side goes against the spring. And you'll place both of the batteries inside of the battery pack, but you might want to wait to do that until after you connect it. So you can put the batteries in last. We're going to go through the steps on this video. Okay. The other thing that we will be using is a 1.5 3-volt DC motor. So this is going to give our robot movement because when we connect the battery pack to the motor, and let me see if I can actually show you guys how to do that. Well, I'm going to show you in the next step. When we do that, it's going to start vibrating. And this is what's going to make the body of our robot start wiggling, 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 and give it movement, okay? There's two other things we need. We need a clothespin, so everybody will be getting a clothespin, and we need a popsicle stick. And these are going to help to give the robot more movement and wiggle because it's going to add weight to the top of the robot. So you're going to see how to put this all together. But this is going to help to give a little bit more weight so that way when it wiggles, it actually can make art on the paper, okay? So those are all of our supplies. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go through the steps with you guys. So the first thing we're going to do is tape our markers into the cup as legs. So if you see in the picture here, you're using 2 pieces of tape for each marker. Make sure that the caps of the markers are sticking out of the cup. So like, for example, when I put this into the cup, make sure that I can actually take the cover off the marker. Don't put it all the way in there because then it will be stuck in there and it won't be able to give it enough support. So it has to be about here, okay, right where the top is. So then put 2 pieces of tape and tape each of the markers. Try to evenly space them so the space between each of the markers should be even. So you might need to play around with it, but you're going to be ending up with 3 legs inside of the cup when you're done. So it will have 3 legs inside of the cup, okay? And it should be able to stand at that point if you kind of just stand it on your desk because they'll be taped in. Okay, so that's your first step. Our next step that we're doing is we are attaching our battery pack to the DC motor. Now this can be a little bit tricky because we're going to be using the wire here, the 2 wires, and there's 2 little gold, I don't know if you could see them, 2 little gold leads. They're right here, okay? You're going to be taking the little silver wire right there, and you're going to stick it into the circle, kind of the little hole, and you're probably going to need to just wrap the silver wire around the little gold lead, okay? So just kind of wrap it around. and you might need to kind of twist it a bit. So you need to do one on each side. And as soon as, I don't know if you could hear it, but my motor's coming alive. Can you guys hear that? Because what am I doing? I'm giving it power. I'm right now giving power to my DC motor with my battery pack. So, oh, hang on. Let's see if I can stick it in there. So as soon as I get it attached, if you could hear that, my motor is vibrating right now. Because why? Because my batteries are in my battery pack, and my battery pack is attached to my DC motor. And so it's starting to vibrate, okay? So if I just disconnect the wire, it'll stop, or I can take the batteries out of the battery pack. Okay, so now let's go to step 3. Step 3, we have to actually tape our battery pack, but you need to make sure that the batteries are out of it, so don't keep them in when you tape it. So you're going to be taping it to the top of your cup, and it needs to be slightly off-centered. So do not put it like this. Put it to the side of the cup, on one side, okay? So again, if you notice here in the picture, it's like one long piece of tape. Oh, sorry. One long piece of tape going from the cup over the battery pack, in the battery pack flat, over the side, and then it's coming down the cup again. So this is going to hold the battery pack tightly to the top of the cup. So you notice the battery pack is slightly, or it's not in the middle of the cup, it's to one of the sides, and it's taped tightly against the top of the cup, okay? So at this point, you have your battery pack taped to the top, and then you have your DC motor connected to your battery pack. So that's where you're at right now, okay? So take your time with the steps. Again, you can pause this video. That's why I'm doing it in the video. And you can just finish the step, and then you can play the rest of the video, okay, as you're doing it. Okay, so now it says next, tape the DC motor onto the cup. So now when you take your DC motor, you want to make sure that this long bar that comes out, that's the part that's sticking up, okay? And you're also going to need to be careful that your wires that you connected from the battery pack, they don't come off. So you might want to put a piece of tape over them because they can slip out. And then you're going to take your DC motor and you're going to stand it up against the battery pack like this. And you're going to tape it on. So if you notice, they're taking a piece of tape here and they're putting it around the battery pack and around the DC motor. So that way it's snug, it's nice and tight against the battery pack. You don't want it to be loose. So if you need to use extra tape, put it nice and tight against the battery pack, okay? So your DC motor is against your battery pack. This long stick is at the top of the DC motor because we're going to be using that in our next steps, okay? So this is what it should look like at this point. Okay, now it says test your WiggleBot. Does it wiggle? So again, at this point, if you tested it just the way it is, so it's going to have the 3 legs in it. It's going to have the battery pack taped with the DC motor taped on it. It's probably not going to wiggle too much. And why is that? Because it doesn't have enough weight to really get it to start wiggling, right? Because our motor's pretty light when you think about it. And so even though the motor is vibrating, it's not really doing enough to give our WiggleBot movement, right? So we need to then do our next step, which is to make the WiggleBot wiggle more, you need the motor to be more off balance, okay? So how do we do that? What we're going to do is take our popsicle stick, and we're going to just take our clothespin and we're going to put it against it like this and just tape it to one side. So you're probably going to need to open your clothespin like this and then just put your popsicle stick on top and just tape it to only one side of the clothespin, okay? So let me see if I can show you in the picture. So do you see how the popsicle stick is against one side of the clothespin like that? And then we're going to attach the clothespin. So remember, your clothespin opens. And if you look into your clothespin, there's a little circle. Do you see the circle? Not the top circle, but this bottom little circle. If you put that right on top of the part of the DC motor that's sticking out, it's almost going to become like a little propeller on top of the DC motor. And you might need to add a little bit of tape inside just to make it stick on, but not too much, because if it's too sticky, then it won't be able to propel around, because you want it to be spinning around and spinning around, but you don't want it to go flying off. So be careful, because we've had some Wigglebots where when you turn the motor on, this thing spins really fast and it flies off. So be careful. You might need to make it a little bit sticky so it stays on. And then look at it. Do you see how the popsicle stick and the clothespin are on top of the DC motor? And now when you turn your motor on, it's going to start spinning, and it's going to make your Wigglebot wiggle around, wiggle around, wiggle around. Okay? So I also am going to include, everybody will get some eyes, okay? And if you would like to draw your own face with a Sharpie, you can do that. If you have your own stickers, if you have googly eyes at home, you're welcome to use whatever you have, okay? It's totally up to you. And then you can make your Wigglebot look super cute with a face. You can give them a name. And then remember, when you're ready to create art, you have to gently take the covers off of your marker, because you want to be able to put it on top of the paper and let it actually create some art, okay? So this is a very like my first robot, beginner robot project. And it is incorporating just some of the basic things that we learned about robots. And you're getting to use a basic motor, a DC motor. This is something that they use in a lot of robotic projects, just beginner, simple projects. You're also getting to learn how to use a battery pack with batteries. Again, a very simple part of robotics. And you're really building up your engineering skills, because we are going to be, I'm going to see, I'm not sure when, but I do have a lot of engineering challenges that I'll be doing with you guys this year. And engineering is a huge part of robotics, because it's all about the design and building. And with your Wigglebot, you're probably going to need to play around with it a few times before you get it to work. So don't get frustrated. It does work, but you have to keep trying. So for example, maybe one of your legs falls out and you have to tape it in tighter. Maybe your motor keeps getting disconnected from the battery pack, and you need to make sure the wires are that they're tight and they're taped and they're nice and snug and tight on the top of the cup. So you need to play around with your engineering design and building to actually get it to work correctly. So please be patient, be gentle with all of the equipment, all of the materials and supplies so you don't break anything, and then just have fun with it. And I would love for you to borrow your parents' phone and just take a quick video, just like a 5-second video of your Wigglebot in action, and then just email it to me, okay? So that I can actually see your Wigglebot, and I would love to make a video with all of the Wigglebots and see them all going. And so how you're going to get credit for this is there'll be 2 parts to this. Let me show you guys. So the first part is going to be this sheet. So you're going to need to fill in the blanks here for the Wigglebot. So we just went through all the materials. There's a missing material. There's some missing fill in the blanks for the steps of what you need to do. So fill in the blanks and then email this over to me. So you can just type in the answers here and email it over to me. And then that way I'll know that you know the steps, because you have them written out here. You typed them, and I'll give you credit for that. And then the second part will be the short video clip of your Wigglebot in action, so I could see that you actually did it. So that will be part of your grade for this first robotics project, okay? And I know I wish we were doing it together. It's a lot more fun when all the kids have their Wigglebots wiggling around together, but we're making the best of it, right? So your homework for this week is to complete the sheet here with the supplies. And then next week, I'm going to actually get, well, you know what? I'm going to order the supplies. As soon as they come in, I'm going to give the supplies to everybody. And then you can build it as soon as you get the supplies. Okay, so hopefully I'll be able to get them to you by Friday. I'm ordering everything on Amazon, so I'll see how quickly I could get it delivered. And then you can have fun building it. Please use this video as a step-by-step guide, because you can pause the video and you can go through any of the steps in the PowerPoint and use the pictures, so that way you can copy exactly how it looks in my picture, okay? And make sure that you're copying it. And then again, if you want to watch this video, again, it's in the video showing you how it's supposed to look with the completed Wigglebot, okay? All right, guys, so have fun this week. I'm so excited for your first robotics project, and I'll be looking forward to hearing and seeing them. And like, email me with any questions if you get stuck on anything, okay? And I can help you. All right, bye, guys.